Okay.
Okay. Good evening. Hello,
Testing, testing.
everybody.
Okay.
We're here. Thank you so much for being with us, those who are in the room and those who are joining us virtually. I am Jasmine Johnson, and I have the extraordinary pleasure of being in conversation with the Jennifer Harge. And of course, we're here held by the Center for Experimental Ethnography, where Harge has been in residence this fall semester. Just a kind of roadmap. I'm going to share Jennifer's bio, and then we'll open up a kind of moving conversation where she'll show us some of her works, and we'll get to talk about them collectively. So thanks again for everybody who is here. I'll start. Jennifer Harge is an artist and educator rooted in the legacies and futures of Black experimental performance and Black spiritual traditions. Using movement as an organizing principle, she spills across choreography, installation, film, and language, collapsing form and gifting herself the freedom to play, wander, and be with multiplicity. Black Detroit has been a partner and teacher in Harge's work. Through her movement collective, Harge Dance Stories, she created a choreographic platform to articulate the interior worlds of Black life and living through meditations on mourning, protest, femme, and queer pleasure practices and embodied liberation. She's been commissioned to present work at the St. Louis Black Repertory Company, Wexner Center for Arts, Museum of Contemporary Art Detroit, Museum of Contemporary Art Chicago, Pulitzer Arts Foundation, Dayton Contemporary Dance Company, and several other organizations and universities across the country. Her work has also been supported in the form of arts fellowships and grants, including a 2023 Dance USA Archiving and Preservation Fellow, 2022 Flourish Fund awardee by Culture Source, 2021 Wexner Artist in Residence, 2018 Evaya Santewa Grant for Queer Women Dance Artists by Queer Art, and a 2017 Kresge Arts in Detroit Fellow. And of course, we have the sheer pleasure of having her here at Penn this semester. Please join me in welcoming Jennifer Hart.
Thank you
Thank you.
for being here.
Always my pleasure. Rainy day.
And thank all of you for braving the rain to be with us, and those in the virtual world. Um, so, in the spirit of all things that I like to do, this will be a very casual gathering. And so we will have our backs turned to you so we can be with the images in the video. But in my mind, like, we are here circled together. And so I think I will want to just give you like a of an archival project that I started working on the last year or two. I felt like you were bringing a new mic, yeah.
Should we get rid of these? Keep mine? Okay. Okay.
Hello. Okay, great. Perfect. So the title of the archival project is called "There Are Many Ways to Make a Clearing," and in this talk, I want to walk us through crucial moments of that archival project that have really shaped how I understand and have crafted my creative praxis. Um, and like the roads I have followed, the detours I've had to take, the refusals I've had to kind of declare in order for me to understand like how I can create a practice that is life sustaining, and not just for me, but for the creative rooms that I curate, the rehearsals that I have to direct, and then ideally too in the audiences who come in contact with the work. How can we think about creative practice or movement as a life sustaining practice? And so I want to first begin. Oh, and the last thing I'll say too, um, the necessity of those kinds of clearings for me have been essential to think about what does it mean for me to be able to show up fully. And I'm thinking about me as a Black queer woman, as an experimental maker, as someone who is leading and being informed by Blackness. What does it mean to what kind of clearings must I make for me to show up in spaces and be leading with that those parts of myself? So I want to begin talking about Detroit as the first clearing, whereas I've lived independent artists for the last decade. Um, and Detroit is really special in particular because I wasn't planning on working there as an artist. I landed there with my family. And I thought I was going to be going to New York to have a dance career after grad school. Circumstances made it so like the wrong thing to do. I fall into the creative community that is Detroit. Detroit being in 70-80% Black city was very different than the academic worlds I was existing in. And Detroit as a place that doesn't have infrastructure for performance. And so without the kind of land of making work where there's like a season of events, like there's rehearsal space, there were like all these things I understood as bands.
Wait, no, then she can use mine. Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, what's going on now?
Hello, hello. This one to you. And we'll see. It's okay. I just wanted to feel like I should have checked in. Like I feel like there was something happening back there.
Something was happening. Let me take this.
Okay.
This
Oh
one's
wait.
definitely not working.
Oh, right,
But it
okay.
might just be like her, celestial energy. She's like moving it.
Probably.
I'm gonna get you a different one. Okay.
Okay.
This one's working fine.
I don't know how to do this. Is that it? You put yours on so clearly. That feels wrong. Oh, she's bringing in another mic. Oh, thank you. Okay, great. Oh, and then we have both of these. Okay, we're back.
Everything sounds
We good? Okay. Okay, great. Y'all okay? Okay, wonderful. So yeah, so like without there's no infrastructure for performance. And so it became clear that like the things my impulses, the things I could usually lean on to understand how to create a choreographic work, without them, I had to listen differently since I know like I wasn't leaving that city. And in Detroit, specifically, creative culture is really happening underground, and so and it's not like organized by discipline, and so the artists and the organizers are like fellowshipping collectively, um, and so my understanding of even like my dancing self is being expanded into not just like siloing myself in strictly a movement category. And the ways I've been trained, which are like very modern, postmodern dance, which is rooted in a particular kind of whiteness, I'm noticing too, like those forms themselves in this landscape are irrelevant. And so it becomes um, think about my body in a way that is in conversation with this creative culture, this landscape, this city who's also experiencing a particular kind of gentrification of the body in this space. It's my training, but I might not be dancing necessarily. So I begin to be city. And I also end up thinking, or I was thinking about hearing ancestral spiritual energy very clearly around this same time. And I'm clear on that because like there were assignments coming to me that I know that I hadn't constructed in my own making or in my own coming in the way like you hear like in your inner thoughts. It was like you gonna do this, and this, and I'll be like, who is that? And who are they talking to? And the assignments would be like things I don't want to do. And that's my first thing. So Detroit becomes a thing for me in the way good working, how I understood making. It's meant when I'm talking about Black knowing being at the center of my practice, Detroit for me to be with that really explicitly. So I want to show some things. I'm just trying to think about what makes sense to show. I think so the next piece I want to show, so it's hard to know how to enter in because like, I haven't been working with this called Morning Never Tired. And I'm showing it now to demonstrate like how my work begins to change as a result of this. And like and being with a spiritual assignment and like into what it means to like, be in that exchange. And so in the way we were experiencing those videos, yeah, and really horrific deaths by the police, like social media, um, prepared to witness something so horrific. So that it was so important to think about like what is the kind of stamina or endurance that is required to